Let me first congratulate you for assuming the presidency of the Security Council for the month of September, and to extend the full support of Algeria to your mandate. I wish also to congratulate Sierra Leone for the very successful presidency during the month of August. At the outset, Mr. President, I wish to express my profound gratitude to you for convening this meeting at a moment when our region, particularly the occupied Palestinian territory, is witnessing serious violations that threaten to unravel the very foundations upon which the international community has sought to resolve the conflict in the Middle East. I extend thanks to both Mrs. Di Carlo and Mrs. Wosornu for their comprehensive briefings. And we listened carefully to the briefers from the civil society. Their words vividly illustrate the magnitude of the suffering enduring by the Palestinian people. A suffering that underscores the failure of the international community, failure to enforce its own decision against an Israeli occupying power that acts with impunity, shielded from accountability. Mr. President, if we are gathered here today, it is because diplomacy has failed. It is because this Security Council, entrusted with maintaining international peace and security, has not fulfilled its duty. How many lives could have been saved? How much suffering could have been avoided if we have been more resolute in implementing our resolution, including Resolution 735. I cannot help but think that had the ceasefire been imposed, more than 3,000 Palestinians, 3,000 Palestinians, half of them women and children, would have been spared. I cannot help but think that had the ceasefire been enforced by this council, the 6 hostages would be alive and free today. For us, there can be no double standard in recognizing suffering or in grieving the loss of a loved one. For us, every life matters. Mr. President, the Israeli occupation continues inflicting collective punishment upon the Palestinians in Gaza and West Bank. The staggering toll of death and destruction reveals a barbarism aimed at erasing the Palestinian identity, and with it, the vision of the Palestinian state. As the world struggles to secure a ceasefire in Gaza, despite the clear demand from the international community, including this very council, the Israeli occupier escalate since last week its operations in the West Bank, continuing to slaughter Palestinians in a blatant violation of international law. Since last October, in West Bank, 680 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli occupying forces and also by settlers, including 150 children. We all have condemned several times this war crime and crime against humanity. But today, mere words are not enough. Today, we must act to ensure that the international law is above all. As the primary organ responsible for maintaining international peace and security, this Council must act without further delay to ensure its decisions are respected, to ensure its decisions are implemented, and initiate a genuine and effective peace process in the Middle East. Mr. President, the sanctity of human life and the shared experience of suffering must unite us, lest we lose our humanity. For us, every life holds equal value, despite race, religion, or color, and we cannot turn a blind eye to any suffering. Every single innocent life matters. Yet, let us recognize that the plight of Palestinian detainees is often, too often, silenced or ignored. They endure torture, they endure abuse, they endure denial of access by the ICRC in a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law and human rights law. Since October, the ICRC has reported more than 8,700 missing Palestinians, mainly from Gaza, with the occupying authorities refusing to provide any information or allow Red Cross visit. Today, over than 9,400 Palestinians, including more than 200 children, are held in Israeli prisons. Among them, more than 3,600 are administrative detainees. They are held for months without any charge. These detainees suffer in silence, abandoned by the international community. Since last October, the Israeli occupying authorities have killed 24 Palestinian detainees while in their custody. Just this Monday, the day before yesterday, the Israeli forces brutally executed Ayman Abed through beating and torture. Do you know what Ayman Abed's crime was? Nothing. He was arrested solely to pressure his son to turn himself in. This is the policy of the occupation. Dear colleagues, the number 552 may be meaningless to many of you, But for Palestinians' families, it represents the bodies of their loved one still held by the Israelis occupier. Yes, the Israelis occupier is holding 552 bodies of Palestinians. Can we fathom that the body of Jasser Shattat, killed in 1968, is still held by the Israeli occupier? Those responsible for all these crimes cannot remain unpunished. As President Tebboune stated, those involved in the massacre and extermination of Palestinians must be brought to justice. Mr. President, to conclude, we are faced with a test of our commitment to the law and to the principle that define the international orders. And it is the responsibility of the international community and this Security Council in particular to protect the multilateral system by reining in the occupation authorities that seek to extinguish the hope of Palestinian state. Silence and inaction in the face of this policy, in the face of these atrocities, will only drive the region toward further escalation. I thank you.